What's up, guys? Back for another episode of Barbells and Banter. We have a special guest on the podcast today, one of our athletes, Emily, who shared her whole journey from getting into fitness in general, starting out at a group fitness gym, moving into the realm of CrossFit, moving into strength training, her history with her injuries, moving into her first powerlifting meet, and then now taking on the venture of physique-orientated training. So it's a really, really cool journey. A journey that's very, very similar for a lot of gym goers that go into their pursuits with the goal of like losing weight and looking a little bit better, and a very, very similar journey that what everybody else takes, with some really good lessons and feedback along the way. So dive into that. It's a really, really good story. We will be doing more Q&A kind of podcasts in the coming weeks though, so please get those questions in because Ben and I are going to be wrapping up the gear and taking those questions and maybe doing some ins and outs as well for 2025. Our fat loss cheat sheet is going to be taken down very soon. So get yourself a copy of that. And if I'm being honest, we're making some moves in the back end and we don't know when that's going to be back up. So I would get myself a copy of that. Also, perfect opportunity to hit that subscribe button. So get on whatever platform you're on, smash that subscribe button and share the podcast out. It does a really big deal for getting the reach out to other people just like yourself. Okay, guys, that's all we have. Let's get into the podcast.
Welcome, Emily.
Thank you.
Welcome to the pod.
We've met our first issue already. You don't drink coffee.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Please explain to our audience, who we just assume are all also adamant, passionate coffee drinkers.
Yeah, they're probably not. They probably drink
energy drinks.
Yeah.
Pre-workout.
Is that your what's your poison?
I've gotten into the Ghost lately.
Yeah, flavor.
The straw mango.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And the other pink one, the other pink lemonade.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've had the pink lemonade. So
I had one of the Warhead ones.
The sour ones. Yeah.
The apple.
Yep.
I only had half a can because sensitive boy.
Of course.
And it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. A full one of those in the afternoon, so it's got to be good for me.
Yeah.
Taste, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I think they all taste good.
Yeah. The sour.
They're all pretty good.
Sour vibes, I'm about it.
Yeah. If you're competing with like just the caffeine hit, coffee's not winning.
Oh nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Coffee's not going to win when it's like fucking straw mango margarita or that sounds
so
fucking
true,
180 milligrams of
sounds
caffeine.
Fun, and the can looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the taste of coffee. I don't like it, and like my parents just drank tea,
Fair.
so I didn't grow up on coffee or anything.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
True.
like when I became a flight attendant, they were like, you'll get into it, like no doubt, because it's like early mornings, like it's fucked.
It's like PT.
shifts.
Yeah,
right.
I was about to say, I don't know.
Okay, and then still haven't.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So what did you do when you were doing the flight attending? Just energy drinks?
No, I didn't even have energy drinks back then.
Just high on life.
Yeah.
Love that.
What a world.
Yeah.
What a world that would be.
I didn't even remember that time.
I was young. Like I was young.
Yeah.
Younger.
Yeah.
I had energy.
You know how wog we are. This proves it. I used to have a the percolator, the little So I used to have one of them in like year 11.
Yeah.
Before school.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was. I was just like, this drink gives me energy.
Yeah. I remember coming home from
What is that? I have no idea what it is.
So it's like a pot and it's got like a top on it. So the bottom is unscrews and you put coffee in it and it's got a filter.
Okay.
So you put water in the bottom, you put the filter in, and then you put like grinded up coffee in and you pack it down and you boil it on the kettle and then the heat rises. It pushes the water through the coffee into the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like rocket fuel.
Yeah.
So if you go to like a Italian, Greek, Turkish, like any that kind of typical region, like family dudes will eat heaps of food and then they'll bring that out because it gives you energy to eat again. Because all you want to do is sleep when you've had a big meal.
So you were having that in year 11?
Yeah, I was having that in year 11. Yeah.
I remember coming to your mum's place like before I was really drinking coffee and you making one of those and going home and just like, I can fucking see sounds.
Yeah, it's like when you're pouring it, it's like mud. It's just like, it's so black. Yeah, so.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's probably why I have.
So you didn't do
anxiety.
like a transition? You just were like,
coffee.
I'm Maltese, I drink coffee from the womb.
I don't think there was a transition.
Yeah.
It was just, it's like I'm sure I'm good at like laying concrete, fishing, just like all of these, being a plumber, like
Just got it
these
built in.
notorious skills that the Maltese men are great at.
Just instincts overpower you.
Drinking coffee. Sometimes I look at that concrete, I'm like, oh, it's looking pretty dirty, man. And try and fucking wash
Go
it.
get a hose. Fetch me the hose, child. Yeah. So I went I started PT, and then I got my first 5:30 a.m. client.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to figure this coffee thing
Yeah.
out. This has to be sorted.
Yeah.
So I went like mocha with a sugar.
Of course.
Got down to mocha, no sugar.
It's the gateway.
Cappuccino, latte, and then I reckon maybe it was a year, 18 months. Got to like long blacks.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how you do it.
Practice.
I just sleep. I just sleep.
Commitment.
Just got to want it bad enough.
I just sleep. I love that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I go to bed at 8. I'm up at 4. I get my 8 hours. I'm good.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Is
don't have
it
kids
bright?
yet.
Is it brighter earlier in Sydney? It's not that different, is it?
It is now. Like, I'm driving at 5, and it starts to get light then.
You have daylight at 5. Well, 5:30 my alarm goes off, and like there's daylight in my bed.
Yeah, yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not till fucking 8 o'clock in winter. The worst is driving to the gym and home from training, because I'm not PTing, obviously. Go train, come home, and it's still dark.
Yeah, it's peak winter.
It's the worst.
Depresso part
You
of
don't
the year.
like that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't mind driving when it's dark, but
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
already done a very important and reasonably lengthy part of my day and getting home when it's dark, it's not a vibe.
See, that makes me excited because I'm like, I have the whole day still.
The only thing that's good about it is like a little bit of I'm better than you card.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at too. Yeah. It's like, I'm
Just
done.
letting- feeding the
You
god
guys are still
complex.
asleep.
Yeah. I'm. What is it? Kobe's thing? Is it Kobe or Tyson? It was like, while they're sleeping, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
He used to do the runs at 4
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah. I feel like they all do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Kobe. Yeah.
So we were just chatting. I forgot that you were a flight attendant.
Yeah.
Were you training then?
That's when I was doing F45,
Yeah.
and then I transitioned into
You don't
CrossFit.
have to laugh. We
Yeah.
will start somewhere.
No, I'm just. It was good times.
What was like the introduction into like, was that your introduction to fitness? Like, you thought it was exciting to do? Like,
Yeah.
your friends did it? Like,
Mm.
what made you go there?
So I remember being in Sydney for my training for flight attending, and some of the girls there were into it, and they were like, "Oh, just come do like a free week." You know how they're like, what are they called? Like I don't even
trial
remember.
or something?
Trials, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did it there, and I was very unfit. I was a little bit overweight at this point and very unfit. And I died, and I was very sore and whatever. But when I got back from that 6 weeks of training in Adelaide, I was just like, let's go, let's do it. And then I just loved it. The community was great.
What did you done before that? Like, did you play sport, or you were just like nothing?
Oh, I was a big sporty
Yeah.
kid. And then my partner, when I was like 19, we just, I don't know what happened. We just sat in his bed all day watching YouTube, eating KFC. And
Yeah.
then I stopped playing all my
That
sports.
sounds like a really good day.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
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 So like basketball, tennis and volleyball were my sports.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah. Indoor volleyball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
So how long you did
So
group training?
yeah, what was the outcome that you wanted
Yeah.
from F45?
Yeah.
Was it weight loss?
Weight loss, look better.
Yeah.
Feel better.
You'd left the boyfriend at this stage?
Yep.
He was still in bed eating KFC.
He was still there. He was still
Probably still is. Poor old mate.
probably.
Shout out, bro.
bless him.
Fuck, you're living the life we all
No,
wish we
he still
could.
follows me. Stop. Sorry. Bless him. No. What was the question?
Shooking it.
I feel so bad.
No, I'm about it.
Yeah.
That was
Um,
when I was-
main goals.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then I met my recent ex partner.
Yeah.
And he was very fit, and he was playing footy in Adelaide. Like, he was very healthy, and he just had a great influence on me. He just had the most positive influence on me ever. And then, got into F45. Was doing double classes, like smashing it like 6 days a week,
Yeah.
Is that like one after the other, or like?
one after the other.
Wow. So
Gross.
I obviously go for
But
45
they
minutes.
loved
right?
it. They were like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good. Like, they just
Yeah.
they frothed it, the trainers.
Yeah. Wow.
We said
6 days a week, hour and a half training.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do doubles every day?
not just the cardio days.
Oh yeah. Fuck me. So every day.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's so true though.
So we got into this Facebook group like when I first started PT, maybe 2 years in. Got into a Facebook group of the Michelle Bridges challenge, and they used to do 1,000-calorie Saturdays.
Fuck.
So they all had to have a watch, like before watches were a thing. It's like you have to go buy a watch and you have to track your calories burnt. So these women would like go and do body pump, attack, then come to our boot camp. And like a boot camp was savage. So we had tires and fucking sledgehammers and all sorts of shit. And they had to get to 1,000-calorie output, and then they were allowed to have a free meal.
Stop.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. And at the time we were like, it's kind of fucked up, but also there's 50 people here that are all paying us $10, so let's just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll try and educate you and you just come to personal training, but while you're still doing it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild, man.
That's
Wild.
cool.
Did you see any progress while you were doing that type of training?
Yeah, I did lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I was probably like around the high 70s, and then I dropped down to like, I remember getting really excited when I saw 69 on the scales.
Yeah.
So I dropped like almost like 10 kilos.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
But I was just skinny. I had no
Yeah.
shape. Like I lost all my shape, like nothing. I was just skinny
Yeah.
and
I feel like doing
fit, but not strong.
those double sessions and that would have, if you said you transitioned into CrossFit after that,
Yeah.
like it would have instilled that work ethic that feels hard is good
Yeah.
kind of mindset as well, hey?
Yeah. I was just like obsessed with that feeling of just
Moving.
feeling dead after.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, when you finish like a
Yeah, you just wanna be smoked.
shitty workout, like or a WOD, and you're just like fucked on the floor,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
sweating.
Yeah.
Remember last
That
time?
one time.
That one time.
We did this. We filmed this workout,
I won't talk about it.
and we did this WOD, and Ben miscounted his reps, and if you didn't get enough reps done in the timeline, you had to do the thing again, and then redo the reps that you lost.
So it was
like,
air bikes, burpee, squats,
yeah,
and I missed 10 squats.
yeah,
Like
so
I just didn't count them, so I had to do the air bike and the burpees.
yeah. So
Bro was not okay.
No.
He was like lying on the ground, like, and at the start I thought he was putting it on for the camera because we put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'll link it to you later, and then I'll link it to everybody later.
It's in the show notes. Fucks.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, he's like not moving, like he's in a bad way.
Yeah.
And then he just like went to the toilet, and he just was in there for ages. And we're like, should we like go check on him? Like, is he?
No.
Yeah. I didn't want to go. I was like, I don't know what I'm walking into. I know Ben's physiology.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. He could be passed out. She could have shit himself. He could have wet himself. Could have been a combination of all three.
Yeah. I literally walked in the bathroom and I was like, I don't know how to face here. I don't know what's about to happen, but something's about to happen.
Yeah. So
It's
funny.
rough.
Yeah. So that feeling is not that
Yeah,
addictive.
we didn't
for
enjoy it.
some.
No, you didn't even get to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not that addictive for some.
No.
Fuck
Yeah.
Anything that involves like an assault bike, though.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long training at F45? 6 months, did you say?
I was there for about a year.
A year, and you lost 10 kilos.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then from there, you said you made that transition to CrossFit. So what was the deciding reason to kind of look for something different? Like,
My partner at the time was doing CrossFit.
Yep.
And he was very into it. And he's just built for CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know how some people just get injured constantly and you're just not built. He was built for it. So he was fine.
Even
you
just
know?
to
He's-
look at him.
Yeah. Like he's cruising, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so he just got me into it. I started training with him at the gym.
Yeah.
I was just like, we were just doing our own stuff, like doing CrossFit WODs. And like he had this little like program that he'd follow, like a subscription. And I'd just do that.
He's one of those dudes that you look at and you're just like, you're just made for this.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Like he
Just
looks
visually,
like,
you're just
yeah.
like, okay.
Fair.
Just looks like a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
So
So what did that training look like? So if you've gone to the CrossFit gym, you're used to training 6 days a week, smashing yourself for like an hour and a half. What does a week worth of training in a CrossFit gym look like?
well, we didn't go to a CrossFit gym. Like we did his
yeah.
programming
Yeah.
at his gym.
Yeah, fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's that look like anyway?
So
'Cause
that was-
I've never done it before.
That was 5 days a week with like Thursday, Sunday rest.
Yep.
Complete rest day. And that was just like something different every
In
day.
bed eating KFC?
Yeah, not at that point. He didn't eat KFC.
Yeah, fair.
Like he's healthy, man.
Ripped up.
Like,
Yeah.
it was great. So that was it's something different every day.
Right.
It was just like
Is it like a different?
it'd be
Yeah,
like
so it was no like this is gymnastic skill day. It's just like what?
they did have some like they'd have like blocks, so like 8-week blocks, and
Yeah.
it would be like a strength focus or like a gymnastics
Yeah.
or something, and they have
Yeah.
a focus, and you'd like be building that up. But like yes, the workouts each day were still very random.
Buried. Yeah.
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 Do
Okay.
you still have any in the skills? Like can you handstand walk and shit?
I like have PTSD from handstand walking. Like I hurt my shoulders very bad doing
Yeah.
that, and like burnt all the skin off, and like it was just didn't know how to fall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I never did it again.
If there's one thing that I would just like to be able to do is just pop a handstand walk.
Yeah,
Really?
like it's
Yeah.
just cool
Yeah.
when you see it, like
It's like a backflip
Back
and a handstand walk. Like if
Yeah.
you just
backflip,
muscle up's
if
pretty.
you
Cool.
just do that,
Like-
it's cool.
muscle up.
Muscle
Yeah.
up's pretty.
That's
fucking-
sick.
Pretty gangster.
Yeah, my shoulders would just
Yeah.
explode.
But it's like.
yeah, I
still-
agree.
It's like.
I agree.
watch me
I'd do
this,
it.
Just looking at people.
I feel like I could do it, and then I'd just be sad about it for 3 days.
Yeah. I think I could do a couple, but I had to like fling myself up.
Yeah,
Like,
Like a
couldn't-
kipping pull up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, And that,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
that,
strict muscle up.
Yeah,
Is,
no.
that's another level.
that aches my shoulders just
Yeah.
thinking about them. I
Yeah.
couldn't even get back. Ugh,
Imagine doing that butterfly position now.
no,
Yeah.
I can't imagine it.
Yeah. Just pop. Just like
Yeah,
like Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story when he tries to do
not
the
made
deadlifts.
for CrossFit. Possibly could be, but not now.
It's they're doing a montage and Mr. Potato Head tries to do a deadlift and his arms just stay on the bar and he falls over. That's me trying to do a keeping pull up. Just my arms just stay there.
Your
That's
body
it.
just
It's
keeps
all
moving.
over.
Yeah. So how long did you CrossFit for?
Oh, I can't even remember now. That was a long time. That was
Yeah.
about that went into COVID
Yep.
because we had access to the gym still. So like he managed the gym
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
in his hometown. And I actually lived up there for a while during COVID. So we actually just went to the gym every day still. No one was
Perfect.
in there.
Yeah,
Just
love
did CrossFit.
Yeah.
Got super fit, but I was just sore all the time. Like my back was fucked the whole time. And that made me transition into strength training and
Yep.
getting my first coach.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were the goals then? Like, did you have sights set on like just building as much strength as possible? Or were you just really
When I was doing CrossFit,
no? When you moved into strength training, like what was the major ambition to kind of change? Like,
get rid of my back pain.
yeah. So it was just functional.
Yeah.
You know, kind of.
I was
reduce
just
the pain.
sore every day. Like I was in agony, like every day. Like I couldn't work. Like I couldn't stand up on the plane. I had to sit down all the time. And then even sitting for like more than 30 minutes, I'd just get pain straight away, like
Oof.
burning. Couldn't walk around the shops, do the food shop. I'd just be like,
Wow.
yeah, it was.
Sounds
cool.
pretty serious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah.
bad.
So what did your training look like initially then? If you're so banged up.
Like when I went into strength
When you
training.
got a
when
coach, yeah.
when you got a coach.
Yeah, so Danny took me into just literally getting stronger. So like she pulled back all my, like I wanted to still do my big lifts. I wanted to do like squats and all that stuff, and I just couldn't do them. Everything hurt. And she just stripped everything back. She got me doing like hella like body weight stuff, just made sure I was moving properly because my technique was not it.
Of course.
And doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
I'm like doing these heavy like snatches and shit with like, I couldn't even deadlift. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't like,
Yeah, you need a base.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it makes sense
you
to
know
have
how,
a base.
how to
yeah.
deadlift if you're going to snatch and clean. Like,
Yeah.
so I just pretty much relearned all my movement patterns.
Yep.
And was super light and then just built up my strength from there.
Is that where you think, and maybe that coach? So one thing that stands out with Em with her training is like attention to detail in technique. It's like us 2015.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
Like meticulous. Everything's perfect
Fair.
all the time to the point where like the first 3 to 6 months we worked together, I was like, Em, send it. Like, you've got like 5 more reps. I know your elbows are going to move past your ribs when you bicep curl. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just get after it.
Yep.
Is that where that came from? Because you're in pain so much?
Yeah.
It's like
course.
everything has to be
Yeah.
millimeter perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember like,
You'd rather go that way and then come back.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
way to build up, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like,
yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm glad that was my baseline. But yes, but transitioning into powerlifting, I can see because like my deadlifts were so perfect and straight.
Mm.
And now I'm like, fucking let's look like a dog taking shit. Like let's fucking like bend the back and get that fucking thing up.
Yeah.
Whereas like it was so hard for me to get into that
Yeah.
mindset of like, that's okay.
Yeah. It took us a long time.
yeah, absolutely. Well, there's like, I feel like there's just a rite of passage anyway. And like, if you were to do like the perfect steps,
It should be that.
the movement and the
Agreed.
strength training should come first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you need it to have this really big solid foundation, and then, I mean, you can probably just push the group training thing out to the side, like, and then you move from strength training to powerlifting or CrossFit or physique training or whatever. But you've got to move well, be strong, and then go.
What am I doing for me?
Yeah.
What's the next thing for me?
Yeah.
You know, that lines up with my goals.
Yeah.
We talk about it in our program stuff, like the paradigm of training for us is always strength the top layer. Just like whether you want to get bigger or stronger or perform better or whatever, build the foundation of strong.
Yeah.
Because like if you're weak and you get strong, you'll build muscle.
Yeah, it's like general strength.
Like
you know, like that 1 point.
If you're
1-to-1 body weight deadlift for I think it's female, and then 0.7 bench. I think.
Yeah.
It's like 1.5 for the males.
Yeah, so it's like no matter what your goal is, if you do that, you'll be better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have more muscle, you'll be
athletes.
stronger, you have more control, you'll be better at your field sport, like whatever. Just get there and then decide I want to go more specific to whether it's hypertrophy or performance or whatever. So that makes sense, and it's interesting that you kind of did it. You just learnt, I feel like you learnt the value of the F45 stuff is the work ethic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
When did you start seeing, because you kind of mentioned your goals were like kind of lose a little bit of weight, and then when you lost the weight, you said you didn't really look the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
When did you start to, once you started to feel better, when did you start achieving the actual goals that deep down, like you knew you always wanted to achieve, like that shape in the body and that look that you were going for?
That literally came from just getting into strength training with my first coach and then my second coach.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was a byproduct, it wasn't the goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I never really cared too much. I initially did when I did F45, I cared about how I looked. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, I feel so fit and like I can do cool shit. And then I just completely lost that. Like, I don't care how I look as much compared to that stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel like you looked, like comparatively, you looked good as well? Like you've lost 10 kilos.
I think so. At the time, it was very surface level. Like my mentality was also very like, oh yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, and like CrossFit, you would have been, compared to F45, assumably, particularly for women, like building some muscle, leaning out a little bit more, looking a little bit better. So you like, it'd be interesting if you were 10 kilos heavier, but still doing the performance work of CrossFit.
Yeah.
Whether you'd still be, I don't really care how I look. It's just like my looks are naturally improving, and I'm doing this cool performance stuff, so I don't have to worry about how I look because it's happening anyway.
Yeah. I've always been quite, like, not secure, but I just really do love myself. And I've always been like that. Like, even as a teenager, you know, and then it was only that small period in between where I, like, put on heaps of weight. I didn't even know I was doing it.
Yeah.
It was just, like, my environment that I was in. And then I was like, oh, there's some insecurities. And then, like, that crept in.
Yeah.
And then it went away again when I got into
it. Sounds like, I wonder how much of that's lifestyle too. So it's pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah. The only frame of reference you've given me for that time frame is if you watched YouTube in bed and ate KFC. So it's like if that's a normal kind of day, there's not a lot of like expression of competency and growth and all that kind of stuff. So you're probably going to be like, my reflection physically, emotionally, mentally is not going to be a positive.
No.
You're going to have a good relationship with yourself there.
No, I was...
And then as soon as you came out of like, I'm doing shit.
Yeah.
It's positive again.
I was drinking a lot as well. Like I was a fiend for like the party life. Like I was drinking and I didn't help with my weight and things. Like I was drinking every weekend and I wasn't in a good mental space at that time. I think I was just avoiding facing like my emotions and facing my feelings. So I was just drinking. I was like every weekend I was like, who's free? Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even like Wednesdays. Like
Sounds like my gap year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all
three beers Monday night for mixed netball. Thursday night was karaoke. We didn't sing, obviously, but we went because the pub's open. Friday night was footy or out. Saturday night was out. Sunday night, couch on the lawn. Or Sunday, couch on the lawn. And then get up and do it again. Yeah. How we fucking went to work, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that now?
Bro. I can't even get to work the 5th day after. And the next day, it's like, oh, that just hurts thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Giving people motor oil, I think, is a little bit different to what we do now. But
Yeah, that's
fuck.
true. That's true. With the work ethic thing and the technique and like how strict you guys are, where do your boundaries kind of lie with that? Like, are you happy with a couple of like dirty reps with your clients? Like, are you happy to grind a few out eventually? Like,
You get 2 clients usually. So because I have a book predominantly of women, I find you've got to push the other way.
yeah, so they're gonna be conservative.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're more concerned about getting hurt in technique. They generally don't know what it's like to get deep into that hole. They haven't been there before. So generally they'll be more conservative. So most of my clientele, I'm like, bruhs.
Yeah.
Like, another 5. I don't care what it looks like.
Are you talking 5 kilos?
5 reps.
Yeah, cool.
Or kilos, whatever.
I'm like, 5 reps. This guy.
But like they stop the set and you're like, nah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like,
it's like if it looks...
It's 5 of either, to be honest. Put 5 kilos on it or do
Yeah.
5 more reps.
Yeah, if the first rep and the last rep look exactly the same, it's highly likely you're not training hard enough,
We've got
right?
a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be typical. And then I find I also have, it's weird, I've had a few like defense people come through and they're always the other way around.
Oh, in the military, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
pull back.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just
Relax. Pull it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the boys are always, not always, but more often than not, like, brother.
Yeah.
That's shit.
That's too heavy. Yeah, I guess for you guys too, because it's like, there's I guess there's a standard range of motion for every exercise, right? And then you apply it to the person. But because you guys are in the strength training space are like working off the critique of the lift, there's so many times
in those
where
main lifts, man, fuck.
it's like, oh, I got a PB today, and then you're like, well, these squats are high, bro.
You didn't, bro.
Yeah. It's like your squats are high, man. They're like,
both the guys that I prepped this year, I was like 6 weeks out. I'm like, brother,
yeah,
like no. Where the girls, I'm like, put 5 more on it.
Yeah.
Like, let's fucking go.
yeah.
Yes, it's big. I imagine most of your guys is like putting the reins on them.
Look,
For the bodybuilders?
to be fair, my boys are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. When they start though,
I guess because I coach people who've got about 3 years under their belt, so they've kind of already done the work hard thing.
yeah,
It just hasn't worked out for them because we
Yeah.
need the plan and we need periodization and nutrition and all that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. So generally, they're good with that stuff. I find if someone's newer to training, maybe like 1 to 2 years, their form is not that great overall. So I don't want to put them in a situation where fatigue is influencing,
yeah,
their control and stuff. Because you can see, I even watch people in the gym and stuff, like their body just moves in ways that I just don't remember.
yeah.
Like their shoulders come up and they come
Yeah.
forward and they wiggle and things like that. I'm like, I don't remember the last time I
felt like
ever
that.
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like I'm just like, you lock it, you feel it move a little bit.
yeah,
You can't see it on the camera, but it feels like I've lifted my shoulders up towards my ears.
yeah. And you're
And
mad at yourself.
the bar either moves or it doesn't.
Yeah,
Where they're like contorting. I watched this guy like twisted like to do his press.
yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I would snap in half doing that. And
Yeah.
then I was like, surely that's it. And then he went for another one.
Fuck.
So I'm sitting on the treadmill watching this dude.
Die.
And I'm like gritting my teeth, like grinding my teeth in like
Stress.
waiting for this dude to explode. And then he just like racks it, no problem, set up, check it.
Fist bump. Let's go.
Yeah, just like looks on his phone.
Put 2.5s on.
Goes again. So yeah, in that instance, like
Yeah,
I think it's just clean reps are good.
yeah.
And then once they get strong and shit, like you almost like take it easy, bus.
Emma, your clientele, they're younger.
Yeah.
So they're more like, you'd be teaching technique, but I would assume all of them would hold back too.
Yes, because I'm the same as you. I have pretty much all females, and I'm pushing that as well. Like,
Yeah.
going to the gym, I have a couple of guys, but online I'm pushing all females, and most of them, I would say a few now that have done lift offs. They're now getting to that point where I used to be, where it's like, okay, you can round your back, and
Yeah.
like that can look ugly. You know what I mean?
You can grind it
Because
up.
they've got
yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But it's more so like I do get a lot of people that are either new to the gym or within the first year. So in the same thing that you were saying before is like quality first.
Yeah.
And then, they are very hesitant to push past that once they're...
What's your approach to that? Are you let's put you in an exercise that you can just work really hard, or are you when we know we're not going to get close to your output potential, but we're going to work on getting really good technique at this skill, or a combination of both?
I don't know. I feel like I'm always like a bit of a skill first.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's come from just my own personal experience.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. It's going to be reflected in everything.
Like
It's a very CrossFit thing too. Like you go in and you get the dowel and you do 400 cleans.
Yeah.
With an empty dowel.
Yeah,
and
the
then,
technique bar that's like 4 kilos.
Yeah, and then you load it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we were younger, like we just did anything. Like it was technique based, but we still wanted to show the effort.
Yeah.
But we were still bound to those movements. It's like someone has to squat. Where now I would just find a squat that can teach the skill, and I would find a movement that can teach the work ethic.
Yeah.
And it's just safe and repeatable. So generally a machine.
Yeah, I think when I first went into powerlifting, it was very everyone squats.
Yeah, it's a
Even
little.
if you're learning to squat, and then like eventually I was just like, you know what, just fucking leg press.
Mm.
And then once you're strong enough, you'll be able to squat.
It's like again, it depends on the pursuit, right?
What their outcome is, yeah.
Like powerlifting is so hyper specific that there has to be a squat for someone who wants to learn how to be awesome at it.
Yeah.
Where if you're training with people who just want to look better, or just want to lose, not just, I always said just, if they want to look better or lose weight, it's kind of more multifaceted, and the pursuit can be, so dynamic, like it's so different. So we're just picking movements that are going to challenge their body and work their muscles and whatnot. So you don't have to get kind of so bogged down in teaching a movement that someone may not have the skill to do just yet. I mean, you can put things in to make them better at it.
Yeah.
But the main objective is like work the body and, stimulate the muscle tissue and burn calories and, obviously do all the other things outside of the gym.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think when I was still doing face-to-face, this was obviously more of a thing than now, because now, like, you don't come to me if you can't squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to hire an online coach if you can't already do the thing.
Yeah.
But when I was, still on the floor, it wasn't necessarily even that they wanted to compete, but my reputation was all my clients did that and they were all strong. So, like, people would come to me and expect the barbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, we spend 10 minutes learning the barbell and then we'll go do the workout. Because, like, this isn't working out for you. This is just practice of a skill.
Yeah.
Most of them still with the goal of looking better, but I want to pursue it via the barbell because it's the methodology of training that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But, like, I would say I'd say only the girls that do my lift-offs have a barbell on their back. Like, all my other clients, they don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, the squat press is really nice. All those things at Pato.
Yeah.
Oh, you got so many.
Yeah,
nice
like, it's like-
toys
there.
Yeah.
Half of them do not use the barbell for anything. Like, yeah. I think it's
Is that because, like, the pursuit of their goals is just more efficient to get using those things, and it just lowers the risk?
Yeah, I think just initially, like, unless they really want to do it,
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, all right, let's start on the leg press, or let's do a goblet squat or something.
Yeah. And get on that pendulum squat you got.
Oh, God,
Kill yourself on it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's sick. So good.
Yeah. 2 weeks before the new program. Can we have the pendulum? Can we have the pendulum? Yes, you can have the pendulum.
I think I mentioned about 5 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done F45. We went to CrossFit. Then we hired a coach because our back was fucked. Moving strength, general strength. Like, your goal was obviously not squat, bench, deadlift. It was just like, I don't want to be in pain anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep those movements in because I enjoyed them.
When you say those movements, all barbell, like the Olympic moves and stuff as well, or at that point when you were like, no, just like the powerlifting ones?
No, I initially wanted to do all of, like, the Olympic lifts as well because I was really enjoying those.
Yeah.
But
Thank God you still don't.
my coach at the time was just like, no. Like, she was just like, we can do squat, we'll do your deadlift, because she was a big believer in, like...
Say her name was Danny?
Yeah.
Shout out Danny.
Yeah,
Thank you,
good job.
because I don't want to teach them.
From Pato. Danny owns Pato with Paulie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yep.
So, yeah, she was like... She is a strong believer in, like, everyone should be able to, like, deadlift and squat properly. Like, again, kind of like you guys were saying with, like, the 1-to-1, should have that baseline. And then we didn't do any Olympic lifting.
Yeah. Everyone, our philosophy is everyone, well, mine, I don't know if Jason's is, everyone should be able to squat. Everyone should be able to deadlift.
Yeah.
Everyone should be able to bench press. If you can't, I would argue whatever pathway you're trying to achieve is limited, but you don't have to.
Just the movement pattern.
Yeah, it just doesn't. But it doesn't have to be in your programs. Like you should be able to. Like if I wanted to go back squat, I could spend 20 minutes and do it. I just need 20 minutes to warm up. But I can, and I think that's important. I think a lot of people cannot. Yeah, we'll put you on a safe spot. You'll be right.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I'll put my neck out just trying to put the bar on.
Yeah, that might be limiting your back and chest training.
It's pretty good.
It's fine.
Do you want to see my progress
fine.
photos? It's pretty good.
Bigger than you. So what part where in the journey were you like, maybe I want to do some 1RMs?
Just as the pain started to fade and I was getting stronger, I was like, this is sick. I was like, I want to see what I can do.
Yep.
And Danny's main, like, she is an osteo, so she does a lot of rehab and strength and general strength training. And I kind of just wanted to be like, okay, well, I want to test this out. I want to get to that like next thing. I was like, oh, cool. I want to try powerlifting.
Yep.
So then I came to Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I finished working with her. That was online.
Right.
And then came to Sydney, and then I was like, I really want an in-person coach because I've never done that before. And then I went with one of the guys there that specializes in strength training and has taken a few people to powerlifting comps. So I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Like his coaching?
Yeah, or just like the idea of going from like general to all of a sudden like these
specific.
3 lifts. I don't know about you, but like those 3 lifts became my identity very quickly.
Same. Yeah, literally same. I was like, yes. Yeah. I was like, well, this is all I do now. Like, the barbell rules my life. You know,
It is my life.
Yeah.
It is my life. Like my
barbell
self-worth,
up, happy Ben. Barbell down, not happy Ben.
Yeah. My self-worth is like based on how heavy those circles are. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's lift that bar.
Yeah.
Is that because you get you just get addicted to the progress?
Yes. And you just become...
Because I've never understood. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I have a bathroom Olympia every night.
Yeah.
And I'm the winner.
I think it's like that, but the variability is maybe a little different.
Yeah.
So, like, if you got hurt, like when you hurt your hip, you're like, this is going to undo so much of my physique progress.
Yeah.
This is challenging my bathroom Olympia, and I'm unhappy about it.
Yeah.
When you miss a lift, it's almost like that. It's like everything's over. And if you get hurt, it's like my life has ended.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking about a meme that I can't say because it has words in it that are politically incorrect, but get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, at least for me, because I treated it like a sport, even like the mental rehearsals that went in, like the mental reps, like I'm talking that I knew what I was going to try and lift the next day. So I'd done that bench press
in
30 times before I got there.
Don't you think to be really awesome at something, that's what you have to do, though?
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you think about all these high achievers, and we talk about like imagery and visualization and stuff. Like, they've taken that game-winning shot, that drive down the fairway, that the lift. They've taken that in their head so many times.
Yeah.
Visualization was very powerful for me in the last prep that we did. I don't think we talked about it much, but I was doing that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was the same. Like, I was just obsessed with like looking at my week, and I'm like, okay, so like Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing this, like I'm going for this number, I'm going for this number. And then in the sessions I'd watch like my old videos from last week, and I'd be like, cool, I've done that. And then I would visualize this one, and I'd just do it over and over and over. And I reckon that helps so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you miss and you've had that much prep for 8 seconds, it's fucking devastating. Yeah, the visualization stuff's wild. Like, if you watch the V8 Supercar guys do it, the F1 guys do it, they just give them a steering wheel.
Yeah, and
they're like, drive Winton, drive
they get to say all the corners in their heads.
Yeah, and
like,
they're just
out
like,
loud.
this is fourth gear, I'm here.
Brake,
and like even the steering input's perfect. It's just...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So your whole identity was squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah, I just thought it was the sickest thing ever.
Has that shifted?
It actually has.
Right now it has, for sure.
It actually has, though. No.
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought it was so cool to like be this little blonde girl squatting 100 kilos. Like I was like, that's just sick.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck yeah.
And then same with deadlifts and same with bench. I was like, you know, bench was such a masculine lift, and I was like, I want to fucking bench more than the average guy. Like I just want to fucking
which you do,
get under that bar and you know.
Do you think some of that is because weight training's so popular now? Remember back in the day, it was like, you know, females were like, I guess like they didn't do weights. Like my mum wouldn't have done heavy weights. Like she always had like 3 kilo dumbbells.
We were marketing get out of the cardio room.
Correct. And then you're on the other side, like not on the other side, like you're probably getting into fitness when it was a little bit more, but still like a bit apprehensive. So doing things like the squat, the bench and deadlift, you're like, well, fuck yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
And look what I can do.
Yeah.
When historically I've been told not to do this shit, and I'm proving, you know, the social narrative wrong here, right?
Yeah.
I think it was definitely partly that, but I was even saying to someone the other day, I was like, I just thought I was better than everyone.
Yeah.
I was like, all my friends that are not in the gym, like I was just like, I'm fucking sick.
You got to, but you got to kind of create that shit too, you know, we talk about, so we have this running joke, like even me and my boys, about how we just like make enemies with people in the gym that they have no idea about, just so that we can, so we can get in and do a good workout. So you just like, I'm a fucking outlift this dude. Like, and in your head, you're just like, and this guy's got no idea. He probably like, hey bro, how are you? I'm like, yeah, good.
The nicest guy
it's
ever.
Like,
I
just fucking took that personal, man. Like, so I feel like when you sit there and you're like, I'm doing things that other people can't do, and my friends are here, and I'm putting the work in and all that shit. Like, it's not like you're doing it in a way where you're just like, they're a piece of shit.
No.
But it's like you've got to create.
You got to elevate yourself somehow.
You've got to create this story so you can be the best person you can. You know, I feel like it helps as long as you don't actually verbalize to the person. Like,
go to lunch with your friends and it's like, I'm better than all of them.
Imagine you walk up to that guy at the gym, be like, you know, I'm sick of your shit, and he's like, what? I haven't done anything. You're like, oh fuck.
We've never spoken.
Em gets to brunch and it's just like, so what do you squat again? I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think there's and correct me if I'm wrong, there's not a lot of spaces that I would say women get to feel that level of like powerful.
Yeah, the gym makes me feel very powerful.
Yeah. I think like, for me personally, like the deadlift is my favorite lift because I'm good at it, obviously. But it's like, that is the most, for me, powerful thing. Because like under a squat, I'm like, I'm probably going to die and I'm really bad at this. So I don't get hyped up about that. And then bench is like, oh, I was 2 mil off. I fucked it.
Yeah.
Whereas deadlift's just like, pick the fucking weight up and now put it down. And it's like, I've never had the level of emotion in any sport I've ever played or done or any pursuit that's stronger than a third deadlift.
Yeah.
Like walking off the platform having done it, it's just like it's like going fucking Super Saiyan. Yeah. Like that's the feeling, and it's like I've put also because there's time.
Yeah.
I only competed once a year, so like fuck this up, wasted 12 months.
Yeah.
So I think there's not a lot of spaces that women in particular get to feel that feeling because they're probably discouraged from it.
Yeah, they have been historically, yeah.
So then if you can get under a barbell, you do it and 6 people walk up to you in the gym after you're feeling like that and fist bump you, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, sounds pretty good.
I'm a god.
Goddess.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's cool. What are your memories of that first prep? What stands out to you as pros and cons, good, the bad?
First prep. It was a novice comp, and I really enjoyed it because it was the first time I've ever done anything like that. So it was very it was like a novelty. Like it was just like, this is different. This is cool. But I noticed like from that comp to like the second one and the third one that I did with you, it was very different just due to like you had different coaching styles and different programming styles and things. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed the first one. It was just like, I wasn't sore. I wasn't, I was progressing, and like, I'm pretty sure, I think I missed my last bench, but I got like every lift, and yeah, it felt great.
Which you should.
And they were all PBs, all PBs, so it was just a overall great time.
Yeah. And you like first preps, like literally every time you step in the gym, you PB.
Yeah, because you don't know how strong you are yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just fun because it was
the best
like,
time.
I was like, recording it and I was like telling everyone about it and I was like sharing my stories. So it was like good for business as well. And I was just like, it was just really, it was enjoyable.
I remember I had this client, we did one prep for like a lift off, I think. And then the second, like when we prepped for the next one, he was just like, I don't know if I want to do this, man. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, it's just really hard. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, my lifts aren't going up every week and, rah. And I'm like, he's like, it's just different to last time. I said, yeah, because last time I said you weren't training hard enough.
Yeah.
And I said respectfully, it's not your fault.
Yeah,
I said, you didn't know,
you
didn't know what you were capable of. And I'm like, and now you're training hard. So welcome to the game, brother.
Yeah.
And then he just had this like light bulb moment in his head, just like, oh fuck, this is what it is. And then he was just like, nah, it's not for
Fuck
me.
this sport. Fuck this sport. Yeah.
Like, I'll just go back to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I think that was me in the last comp,
Yeah.
my third comp.
Yeah.
I was just over
You
it.
progressed everything. Yeah. You started to get strong.
It was a very, very good, like I was training really well.
So there's like a few stages within powerlifting. So it's like the first block that you had with the first coach. It's like I'm learning to strength train and the barbell's part of that.
Yeah.
And this is really fun and I'm like kind of figuring it out and my skills progressing every week and I'm learning competency and that's all really rewarding. Then there's like the first prep and I'm literally better every time I step foot in the gym.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
Then there's like the first couple of meets after that, some time, maybe like 6 to 12 months after that it's like, okay, this is what it's actually like. Like, we'll talk about it on next week's pod. Like I just had Ben compete and he put on between the lift off and his first comp, he put 25 kilos on his squat alone.
Yeah.
It's like hit a 35, 40 kilo PB at comp and he was like, bro, this prep was so hard. Like, I'm like, you put on 15 kilos in your total. It's fucking great. He's like, I know, but I put 40 on it last time.
Yeah.
So there's that stage of like progress is slow. It's earned. It's a bit more of a grind.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to, I think a lot of people do powerlifting for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then after that, it gets so hyper specific.
Yeah.
And the path you have to take is very specific to the person then. It's like if you're fuck off strong, it's like you're probably going to spend more of the year training like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Because you're going to beat the shit out of yourself if you don't.
That's the third stage is now you're strong.
Yeah.
Which is where you got
sounds
to.
like you're about to, or you're just
you got there and
it's
it's like you're starting to get the like, my shoulders hurt. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, my elbows, my wrists.
This is shit.
Yeah.
I was drained.
I don't want to go. I don't want to do this movement.
Yeah. It's like, you're strong now. That's
I just didn't
welcome
want
to the party.
Yeah. It's just, I think like for me, the first one, I was still in that perfect technique area where it was like my deadlifts were like completely straight back, like, all the things. And then coming into your coaching for the second comp and you kind of taking me on last minute, you were then like trying to introduce like, do this with your shoulder blades and your back and like your bench and this. And the focus was on my bench. And we did get that. We did get the bench, like it just completely went up.
Yeah.
And then I was in that transition of like going from like a gem pop strength trainer to then like
a powerlifter.
Yeah. And then this one, I feel like I got it.
Yeah.
Because we got the deadlifts, we got the bench, and my squats are always fucking strong and I fucking love them. So I was just like flying and everything. Yeah. And it was really good, but I was just drained. Like mentally, I was just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. What'd you total? Like low threes, mid threes?
3, what was it? 320?
Yeah.
317, 320?
Yeah. I feel like for women in that kind of 62, 67 class, unless you're a freak, like once you get over that 300, that's when you're like strong.
Yeah.
That's when like warm-ups matter, recovery matters, diet matters.
Yeah.
Like all those other compounding factors. And that's like when people are like, will you ever come back to powerlifting? And I'm like, to do it, I need 25 minutes before I get under a bar.
Yeah.
So that means my workout's 2 hours
Yeah.
minimum.
It's a big commitment.
So it's
That's
like,
right.
once you get to a level of strong, all the parameters change. And that's where it becomes, I don't just go to the gym and squat, bench, deadlift. Now I'm a powerlifter. And that's that 2 year window where people are like, I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find something else, which is fine. Like I did it. It
Yeah.
took me 5-6 years, and I was like, I want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I was getting so sick of training just like for 2 hours, and I was like, I want to work on my business. I want to do other things.
Yeah.
And I'm in that period where I'm like building my business. So I was like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to get home and do work.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want the actual time and then the energy availability
Yeah,
yeah.
as well,
yeah.
because you cook yourself on like some squats and
Yeah.
deads. Like like my leg day, like whatever happens
It's
after
over.
that is like just it has to be
over.
robot work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff I don't need a brain for because
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So I think
So,
interesting to unpack. So you were 8 weeks out? Bit more. 10 weeks out.
About 10.
Yeah. Had a transition. All right, I need you to coach me to prep. Jason and I talk about it all the time. Do
Yeah.
you take the client on? Do you do it or not?
yeah,
Bodybuilding
Yeah.
obviously is
It's like-
way higher risk.
yeah.
Powerlifting, less high risk.
Well, it kind of is, but then it's kind of not because I'm like, well, whatever happens, like
It's on them.
I can just blame the other person.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
shit.
you were soft on
Yeah.
on show day because of your other coach.
I did the best I could with what you gave me. Yeah,
It's
then when
like-
you have a full year, you're like, that's
Yeah.
me.
No, well, I guess the thing is after it, if you don't fucking show up, then you just
Yeah.
look like a fucking
Yeah, I remember we had
Some
a
shit.
run in with this coach one time, and he was like, "Yeah, well, your old client has PB'd in every comp." I'm like,
yeah.
we
So you
fucking
should.
should have, bro.
Yeah,
like
mate.
that's your job,
Isn't
man.
your job for them to progressively get better? Like,
Well done. You did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so coming on at 10 weeks, I'm gonna ask your experience. Coaching was kind of, you were quite responsive, so it was fairly easy.
Mm.
I was really aware that you were gonna have. My position was I can't really change anything.
No.
Changing shit at 10 weeks.
yeah, it's
We're not. It's not. I can change programming. I probably can't change much with
how you
execution.
execute the lift. Yeah.
And we don't have time to go back and learn or do anything. So it's just like what we have here is what we're working with. How do we work the best with that? So I wasn't going to go in and be like, all right, we're going to teach you to like compress your thoracic to deadlift. That just means pull your ribs down, fam.
Smart. Lots of words.
Remember what podcast you're on. We're not going to learn to do that now because it's too late.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the platform, you're just going to black out and do what you used to do. So
Yeah.
let's just do that. So we're able to make pretty good progress on the bench because we could change setup, and then we just change frequency, and it just
Yeah.
yeah. So my experience of that wasn't that challenging. What I found super challenging was comp day. Because I was like,
Is that
it's nothing to do with you.
Is
It
that
was
the
just,
first the first interaction?
Yeah.
of
Yes.
course. Because it would have been the
Yeah.
first time you guys actually met too.
So we'd
right?
spoken.
Yeah.
Well, even I missed 2 check-ins because we had LJ.
Oh, of course.
So I had 10 weeks.
Yes.
Perfect time.
Because you
Week
told me
4,
that. Yeah.
I had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then I was back and I was like, okay, we're 4 or 5 weeks out now. So we actually only corresponded for 8 weeks,
Yeah.
really once a week for check-in. And I got there and I was like, I don't know you yet. I don't
Yeah.
know what happens if I yell at you or I need to be soft with you.
Yeah.
or
How to
I
work the person,
dictate,
right?
or
Yeah.
like you're a coach, you're a trainer, you've got experience. Do you want collaborative input? Do you want? And we had that kind of after the comp. We're like, next time you just tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Because I was
Just
probably
yell at me.
too collaborative because I was like, I don't know where you're
Yeah.
at yet, and I don't want to come in and just be like, you're doing this, and you'd be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I cut that step now. I just ask them.
Yeah.
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 Like I just do it at the check-in.
Which I think we had the conversation, and I don't think because you'd only done a
The
novice
first
meet,
one, yeah.
you weren't actually sure either.
No. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
why,
fair.
Yeah.
And then going to
I
a
think that has to
sanctioned
develop.
going to a sanctioned meet where we had 5 other STC girls would have been a really different experience too. Like just
Absolutely.
so much more chaos.
Yeah.
So where you may have been collaborative at the novice meet because it's just like, oh, I'm just here for vibes and fun.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, this means something. I've got a soft suit on. There's all these other people.
Yeah, I've put all this work in to chip that small percentage you were talking
Yeah.
about before. It's like,
Yeah, and now you're asking me questions and I don't know what to
Yeah.
do with that.
no
Leave me alone.
inputs, just tell me what to do.
Yeah. So that was an interesting experience coaching wise. And I just wish we had longer to build the relationship because I feel like this comp was perfect.
Yeah.
Warm up room was perfect. What you needed beside the platform was perfect. Like, I think maybe fixed it for me. This one. She
I
doesn't want to
think so.
compete anymore.
She's like, look, just wanted to tell you, and now's the perfect time.
Yeah. The reason we've gone to physique training is I fucking hated it.
I'm now working with Jace.
It actually wasn't, and now I'm a bodybuilder. This is how we're going to break it to you, man.
Fuck. I'm gonna head out.
No, I think we did really well for the messiness of it.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting any of that stuff to happen. And so when I stopped working with that coach, I was just like, okay, well, who do I know that's probably got some experience in powerlifting? And you were the only person I knew. I was like, all right, let's do it. But there was one other guy that my nutrition
Got
coach
picked
referred.
one of one.
And I was like,
Thanks for the
like,
gas
I
up,
know,
Ben.
like I just...
Appreciate it. He was just the only
A
dude I
pool
knew.
of one.
Sorry, I don't remember your name. But
It's okay.
Yeah.
Go.
There's that guy that I think he trained Irina maybe.
Yeah,
fuck it,
yeah.
that'll do.
Yeah.
But no,
She does powerlifting. She'll be right.
she's strong. But no, I'm very open to taking on, like learning and just take whatever you want to do. I'll do it. Like I'm not very direct or like, yeah, I just didn't have a lot of experience. I was just like, you just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that probably worked as well.
You still like that now? Do you still want like a coach who
Authoritative
wants
coach.
to just take the reins, or are you, the more experience you get, happy to provide some input and collaborate a little bit more?
I feel like I'm slowly getting into that.
Yeah,
But
I feel like everyone gets to there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think once it gets too, like collaboration is like here and here, but once the line gets pushed,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, you know,
I
who's
think-
coaching who?
Yeah, I'm
You know
very
what I mean?
open. Like I'm just like I love when someone takes the lead. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I love collaborating, but I still think at some point, like, the coach probably should make the
final call.
The
Yeah.
final call.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
think
what-
that's their job. That's what they're
that's
there
what you're
for.
doing. Like
So you kind of like you're getting information, you know,
Yeah.
which you guys know you better than we. You know, that's what I always say. So I'm like, cool, give me everything.
Yes.
And then I'm like, this is what I think we do. And then if you get a
Yeah.
bit of like discussion about it,
Yeah.
and it's like, then the final call is with
Yeah.
the coach.
Yeah, and it's as a coach too, as you work with more and more advanced clientele, let's call it, more experience, more knowledge, more whatever, getting more input. So like when M says something, I'm hearing are you in 3? A third year PT, third year lifter say something to me. Not someone that's like, I don't fucking like burpees. Like, it's not a Gen Pop client that doesn't like the thing.
Nah.
It's like, I think this.
Yeah, or this
Or-
is happening, and I think this is the solution to it. What do you think?
Yeah.
And you're like,
So I remember, I think we've actually talked about it on the podcast and just not named you. After the first comp, we were like, all right, you have no back. Let's fix that. And I think it was the single arm cable row. And M was just like, I fucking hate these, dude. I'm like, I know, because you're shit at them.
I said it
Yeah.
every week. I was like, I hate this fucking exercise.
yeah, it's funny, man. They all say the same thing, right?
And then-
it's the movement they're shit at.
3 months
Yeah.
later, she's like,
I loved it.
look at my back. I'm like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
But I loved
Those rows
it.
that you hated?
Remember those cable rows, bro?
Yeah. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So even now, like we've moved to a less specific target.
Yep.
So we are actually, don't poach it, we are actually moving more towards physique. Um,
You're in good hands.
so for me, that's more collaborative.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I just want you to train a quad focus squat pattern.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
train hard.
I don't really care if it's the pendulum or the hack.
Mm.
If you are enjoying the pendulum and you're going to show up and you're going to fucking send it, do the pendulum.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally fine with that.
That leads to better progress anyway.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
When you look at research and data, like,
And that's the balance with powerlifting. And I think whenever M's kind of pushed back on anything, either because she doesn't, it's usually just you don't like it. Sometimes it's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And then when it's like, I know that you don't like it,
but you have
but
to
these
do
are the
it.
5 reasons why.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Done.
Yeah, if you can rationalize it, absolutely. Like, there's a couple of times I'm like, a few of them like, oh, I don't like this. I'm like, why? Oh, it's too hard to set up, or, I have to pack it up, or whatever. I'm like, no, you're doing it.
Yeah. No.
Like,
Yeah.
because you need it. It's
Yeah.
not like, if it's just because you have to pack it up, like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, or if I just know, like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've got one client. It's actually quite funny. Like, she has this like story on her Instagram just about Bulgarian split squats, and like she's just like woke up crying today because I have to do Bulgarian split squats, and everything's about Bulgarian split squats. And I'm like, are you doing this so that I don't put them in there? Because they're
I'm
in
gonna do
there.
it more.
Yeah, because I'm like, they're in there.
Yeah.
It's like second complex Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes if it like, not that she like doesn't ask for it, it's just quite funny. But sometimes like people like, you know, trying to make things a bit easier. And I'm just like, hey, I know you asked for collaboration, but you're doing them.
Yeah. So if we stay on that topic, 3 coaches, similar. You don't have to say I'm the best. But just like
That's where he's going with this discussion.
yeah, I am. You don't
Third
have to.
time lucky.
You don't have to say it because I know. I'm curious, like going into choosing a coach. You chose one of one for me, so you didn't do a lot of research. Let's be honest.
One of two.
What are you looking for? Having had experience to 3, like what stands out as like the good traits, the things that you're like, I like this in a coach.
I'm a bit of a soft feminine person, so I like a more gentle approach than like really intense and direct. Like I like to learn things as well, so I look for like, you know, just your like education and like what you talk about and how you talk and like that type of stuff. I find I connect with people that are more down to earth and very grounded and very, you know, calm and not yelling at me on their social media or like do this or like, you know, just you see those accounts and stuff. And I feel like, yeah, I found that. And I feel like I also like someone taking the lead. So maybe that's why I've gone into like 2 guys in a row because, you know, I like someone that's a bit more, okay, this is what you're doing.
Yeah. So the relationship's authoritative, but it's done in a calm.
Yeah.
Not necessarily gentle, but in a calm manner.
Yes.
It's not dictating.
The coaching style is autocratic, but you do it in
Yes.
a way that is not an asshole.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
'cause
it's not-
people look at autocratic styles of coaching and even leadership, and they're like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between autocratic and dictatorship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Autocratic is
Autocratic's
like you're just telling you're a peer and you're giving them necessary tasks and feedback and stuff so that they do the thing, and you're receptive to taking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that top-down relationship.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to happen all the time. Like we talk about all the time. Like there's periods where you're like you have to put your autocratic hat on, and then you know you're a month out from comp. It's like do the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're 4 weeks out or 2 weeks out from a show, I'm like do the thing. Or if they're in contest prep, I'm like do the thing.
Yeah.
But then there's other times, like probably the phase after prep, where you guys are just like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And then that's Ben trying to put on his like collaborative hat, and then you might sit there and go, I don't know. Can you go back to putting that autocratic hat back on?
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite thing is so the rigidity of comp prep. Obviously, like always, when I say this and I'm talking to you, I'm always like, I know it's not the same as bodybuilding.
It's okay. We're better than you. It's fine.
But the rigidity and repetitiveness of the training and the tiny little parameters that you take from 26 weeks out, which is volume, movement variety, everything down to like you doing 12 sets a week.
Yeah.
Of actual work.
So specific.
And then you do some like entertainment shit that makes your body feel better, and then you go home. After the comp, debrief. We'll chat during the week. We'll talk next steps, blah, blah, blah. This week, just go in and just bro train. Cables,
Meltdown.
machines, that's it. And
Yeah.
by Wednesday, people are like, can I have a program?
Yeah.
Because they've gone to the gym once and like, I don't know what to do.
Fuck, I can't. I have fucking 20 years of lifting experience, and I can't even go to a gym now and like just wing a workout.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sucks, man.
Yeah, it feels weird.
We went to
Yeah.
a different gym on after the powerlifting comp.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Heavy Set?
Heavy Set.
I wanted to know.
Dope, bro.
Yeah, it looks good. It's just a little bit too far for me.
It's very far. It's an hour and a half from my
Well,
house.
when I say little
Sucks.
bit, it's too far.
Lighting of the Gods.
Yeah.
The Olympia equipment.
Yeah.
Very
It's
impressive.
that torture shit or whatever.
Super
yeah.
adjustable. The pressing stuff. Yeah. The back shit was really good.
Yeah. Well, you don't need.
Yeah.
Like, pressing stuff doesn't.
Yeah.
need- it's just a nice little.
And the leg equipment's mid.
Is mid.
Yeah.
Okay. Mid's not bad. So
Actually,
you make it work.
let me correct myself. They have 4 pieces of specialty glute equipment that every gym would kill to have one of.
Yeah.
But the rest of the leg stuff kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, that's all you need, bro.
Yeah.
You got to get the glute stuff in there.
Where was I going with that? And just like I walked in with no plan.
Yeah, no program.
And I was like, I just want to play with the machines. Like, I'm saying the leg equipment was some shit because it just had a shit leg part. Like, the back part of my workout was sick. And after that, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really have a plan. I have no reference to last week. So I'm just, I don't know. This leg press hurts my hips. So I'm just going to do 25 reps and then go home.
I feel like I can't push as hard. Like, I feel like it's just weird.
Which is the point in that phase. But like,
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
I had the whole week off this time, though. I was happy to do that.
Yeah, well, that's actually what I want people to do.
That's growth for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
Must have pushed yourself real hard then.
Yeah.
You come from somewhere like, F45 and CrossFit and then strength training. Like, I'm someone that loves the gym and loves being in the gym. And now I've gotten to that point where I'm like, I actually don't need to go, like, today.
Yeah.
Or like,
it's huge.
that week I don't need to go. I've detached.
I was there and I'm now deep the other way.
Yeah.
I went to cardio this morning.
Yeah, I love the gym though because if I don't go there, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I stay at home. I just get turned into a weirdo. My wife's like, you need to get outside. She like tells me like, maybe you should go play golf. That means I'm being a weirdo.
Bye.
Yeah.
So, coaching, we kind of covered. What's the goal now?
For my training.
So, post-competition, you're like, kind of done with powerlifting for a bit. I just want to get massive.
Yeah. I'm kind of finding I'm going back to those original goals back in the day where I was like, oh, I really want like hella shape and I want big muscles. And that's definitely come with powerlifting still.
Absolutely.
Like, I have so much shape now. I have so much more shape than I've ever had before. But I was like, all right, so if I can push that hard in powerlifting and get that much shape from powerlifting, what can I do from actual hypertrophy?
Yeah.
And like get specific with that.
That's honestly, right now, I'm like eating my words of the last like 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, you can still build muscle powerlifting. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Doing 9 months of purely physique training, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
This is not maximizing anything.
Here I have been just like, yeah, man, sure. Bro.
Yeah, whatever you reckon. Whatever you
reckon. Fucking this guy over here.
It's so true though. Like, I don't think that powerlifting is optimal for building muscle. But I was just like, okay, if you can still get some with that.
Absolutely.
And I have.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, I need to test this.
Well,
like,
it's a side effect.
Yeah.
It's like strength, the side effect of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it's like once you go hot, like it's when you double down. So you double down on strength. You're not doubling down on your muscle tissue. And if you double down on your muscle tissue, you can't double down on strength because you're doing 3s and 1s and shit.
Yeah,
like it's weird. You know?
It's at like 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
It's like you stop making progress.
Yeah. So now you're doubling down on your body
Yeah.
and how
Cool.
the aesthetic part of it, which is going to be super fun.
So we got a question on the pod 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Should I cut or bulk? So
that's right.
Obviously the goal was you came to me and were like, I want fucking massive quads.
Yeah.
Let's
Big
go.
Fat quads with a pH.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that shit.
So we had made the decision, let's cut first.
Yeah.
Why did you buy into that?
I just still felt heavy from powerlifting. Like, I just didn't feel fit.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to feel a bit lighter in my body. And I also know that, like, I do put on naturally, like, I put on fat easy and I, like, you know, I don't stay lean. You know how some of you just eat more and then instead of last and they've been muscle and they still got abs and it's like,
Yeah, we hate them.
yeah. Like, what?
We know who they are.
I'm not that
I've
person,
got a list of all of you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Like, fuck off. I'm the complete opposite. So I was just like keen to.
Yeah, but that means you put on size quickly though.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
So
not
it's
a bad
like,
thing.
it's like.
Yeah, you just got to work with the plan. Yeah, you got to set your plan up, which is best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was happy to because I was just like, I just want to feel a bit fitter and lighter as well.
Yeah, which
It
you're going to
also-
feel tough. Well,
You go.
I was going to say, you're probably going to feel rigid and stiff and slow just from doing the powerlifting stuff,
Yeah.
let alone the
Being
body
heavy.
weight stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what the sport does.
Yeah.
It makes you rigid.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
If
So
you're
then-
not, you fucked it up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it makes sense, like, even just you explaining all of those feelings, like we've talked about it before, it's like, what you said is exactly what everybody says.
Yeah.
I just want to feel nimble and lighter.
Yeah.
So have at it.
Yeah.
Go into a cut, add some variation to your training, access some movements and range of motions that you haven't typically done in the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
You're going to feel fucking great.
Yeah.
Also, like training paradigm wise, I always go into a recovery block.
Yeah.
That's like introduce explosive movement, introduce coordination, introduce movement variety with low intensity by default, like just implied limited load.
Yeah.
For
I didn't
4
do
weeks.
I did not do that.
So it's not about
I sent it day one.
Yeah. So don't interpret that as you don't train hard.
No.
But the exercises that are selected aren't loadable.
Yeah.
If that makes
The
sense.
ceiling's low.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cutting in that is obviously favorable.
Yeah.
Trying to build muscle and recover your movement, get function back, all that kind of shit. Like it doesn't really come together. At best, it was like we could do a maintenance block and then build. But it's like, well, we've got this 4-week recovery block anyway. I was also conscious that at some point, maybe you want to come back to compete. Maybe.
That's Ben just throwing.
Just leaving it there.
Just leaving it out in the universe.
Even if you don't, it's fine. Even in the car on the way here, you were like, once I get to 67, 68, I'm like, I feel
I feel
a bit sketch.
average.
So that's the top of the weight class for you. So if I was like, well, if we pull you back to 62, 63, we've got 5 kilos to fuck with.
Yeah.
And you've been to that weight, you're not going to panic. You're not going to freak out. It's like, we did an 8-week cut and we got you to 62. You can turn that on whenever you need to. And it's like, okay, I need another 4 weeks of surplus. We can lose a centimeter a week off your waist if we just do this when you're ready. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So long term in my head as well, I'm like, this cut it'll give you a stack of proof that if you put on too much body fat, it's fine.
Yes.
It comes off quick and you didn't lose muscle. You were saying on the way here, you're still performing
I'm still
better.
strong as fuck.
Everything's still working because we only have to do it for 8 weeks. It's not like you have to do a 14, 16 week cut.
Yeah.
So when we spoke about it, they're all the factors in this individual situation that we looked at.
Yeah.
It's like, can we get you to move well? Can we get you feeling better? Because you're going to feel shit once food goes up. Not shit, but heavy and a little bit lethargic. Yeah. And we were saying we always say you're going to do cardio on your bulk. And then you get heavy and you're like, 8,000 steps is enough.
Yeah.
6,000 steps is enough.
Yeah.
So having that window of feeling fresh before we start to drive cals.
Yeah. I just want to be in a better starting position. I want to do a proper long-term build, and I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So, just knowing that I want to do that going into next year, I'm like, well, I just want to get in the best position possible to set that up.
Love that.
Yeah.
Your starting point's so important. So,
yeah.
Love that.
Progress. 6 weeks in.
I'm just literally day by day. I'm just listening to you.
I'm pretty sure you're 6 out of 8 in.
I reckon it is
and
6.
And we're 4.5 kg down.
Well, it was...
You've been interstate twice.
3 times now.
3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've nailed it. I've been sitting here this whole thing I didn't know you had shoulders like that.
Oh, I've always had shoulders.
Yeah. It's very impressive.
I'm 63 now.
Yeah.
On the dots, and I'm 67.5.
Yeah. And the goal was mid to low 62s off the STC nutrition calculator.
Got you, boys.
I thought it was 64.
Maybe it was.
It was 64.
All right. So you've
See you later.
overachieved. You've overachieved.
That sounds like me.
So I feel like once you eat, we'll probably sit at 64.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then build from there.
Yeah. But I'm just cruising now.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I love that for you.
Yeah. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm
really excited to see this build. I've
Yeah.
done a lot of prolonged builds with some female clients over the last 12 to 18 months. The fucking progress is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People look at when I share them on social media or even the videos when they tag me and all the girls are just goals, and I'm like,
Goals.
you need to spend 12 months in a surplus. You need to coach yourself to be able to accept it mentally because you've got the physical capacity to do it. Everyone's got the physical capacity to eat the food and train hard and do that style of training. It's they're getting in their own way with the food and the feelings of the heavy and the this. But it's if you want to look at a 12-month transformation and go, holy fuck, like they do when they see these examples of these women I have, the common denominator is that they just spent the whole
Long
time.
enough.
I mean, they had a good starting point, you know,
Yeah.
but they spent the whole time in there.
Do you
Yeah.
think that the perception that it's harder for women to build muscle is just that? Just they just don't eat enough for a sustained enough period of time?
Yeah, absolutely. It's because it's like the change in the program thing. People change their program when it gets hard because they think that they've hit a plateau. It's like, no. You've just gotten to a point now where you're starting to train hard, and now you need to practice that and get better at training so your body starts to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same philosophy when you push calories. You push calories and then they put a little bit of weight on and then they start to get a little bit slower and then they start to feel full. Because let's be real, like the feeling of being full sucks. Like, and then knowing you still have to eat more. And then they're just like, I can't do this for much longer.
Yeah.
And then they stop and it's like, oh, you're so close.
Yeah.
Because you're
Now's
training
the
hard
time.
at the same time. So you're in a position where the stimulus in the training is going to be so fucking good to grow. And you need to just do this thing for a little bit longer out of the gym. Like just eat the food, the protein. It's mainly the protein and the training intensity. The calories just have to be adequate.
Yeah.
But they just feel like shit. And then they stop and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I only put a little bit of progress on. It's like you could have made so much more.
I had this exact conversation with another client recently, and I was like, you need to think about eating in a surplus with the same intensity that you think about your deficits. Because every female over 16 at this point, based on the research, knows what it's like to be hungry.
Yeah.
They've dieted before.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm dieting, it's working. I should be hungry.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a surplus, by definition, you're not hungry. You're full.
Yeah,
it's
because
hard.
So when you feel full, it's the same level of pain as being hungry.
it's different.
But you're used to being hungry and you're encouraged to be hungry. So you just need to go, this is the same level of discomfort as if I was dieting. So to move my physiology away from what is a standard base point, I have to do something that's probably going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Whether that's I'm going to be hungry if I'm in a deficit or I'm going to be really full.
Yeah.
Man, the amount of I put on 40 kilos in 7 years.
Yeah.
The amount of times I went to bed wanting to throw up, uncountable.
Yeah.
Like,
force feeding's not
It's
fun.
just fucking have to sometimes. So, but I think that's easy from a male.
Yeah.
To be like,
Yeah, of
man, I just fucking stuff my face and go to bed and I'm like, ugh, and it's like a normal thing.
Yeah.
But
It's a more masculine approach and mentality.
Absolutely.
yeah. So to try and get in a female athlete's head and just be like, supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to feel full. You're supposed to not be hungry. You're supposed to be a little bit slower and feel it. It's like trying to manage those things with the coaching and you guys having conversation to support, because I feel like that's a big thing too. Like the amount of times my girls are just like, I feel heavy, I feel shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how bad? And it's like, oh no, I can keep going. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, right, you maybe just play around with their food types and maybe distribution, adding in more movement helps with digestion and stuff, even just times between meals and shit. Like there's things you can do to just like, it's like, is it the food volume or is it a digestion thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then you mitigate those things and then all of a sudden, they keep going. And like I said, it's just time and effort and resources. You put all those things together, man. It's the fucking magic formula.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, we could keep talking.
We didn't do
forever.
any of the questions that we planned. We'll do them on the
Yeah,
later
we just talk about training. So we can talk about, we love talking about training. It's the best.
So that was M, the athlete. If you want to go check out M, the personal trainer, coach, head over to Beyond the Gym Floor. She was on there on Monday because this comes out Wednesday. We do them backwards. I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about that as well. Like, silly.
Yeah, because it's banter. Banter's first.
Yeah, no, it's just how we roll.
Correct. It's like we need to
It
talk
makes sense
shit
to do
first.
this. Let's do the opposite.
Yeah. So yeah, go check that episode out. What's handles?
Yeah.
Where do we find you? Instagram is probably the best.
Yes.
What's the handle?
Empower_strength.
Easy.
Get on that.
Go give Em a follow. Give her some feedback.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Get the episode out to the
Absolutely.
people. We got any giveaway stuff on Fit at the moment?
Still got the fat loss cheat sheet up there, so I'll be getting a copy of that if I was you, because it might not be up for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. I've got some cool things in the works, so grab yourself a copy of that because we're going to be moving on to something really exciting that we'll announce in the coming weeks.
Yep.
All right.
Coaching info, stc.com.
Yep.
If you want
Get your applications in. There's people joining the team now. Taking action. Don't wait till next year.
Don't be a
book.
pussy.
Yeah, that's it. Put your application in. Book a consult with a coach, and let's get started working together.
If you hate us and you're only here for M, you can go to
Yeah,
her
cool.
Instagram.
Just do that.
Just
Yeah.
sign
If you don't want to work with us, you can work with Jess or me. It's fine.
Yeah,
like, you know, you don't have to be us because
Or Emily, it's fine.
Yeah, we're too autocratic. All right. Hit the subscribe and follow button. As always, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you for another episode.